Hello friends, welcome to Suprabha Academy's MPSC course in English medium. Today we'll be speaking about geography optional. Since your prelims exam is over, now many of you would be going for your mains preparation but obvious many of you would have carried geography as an optional subject. Now, one thing I always emphasize is that there are certain concepts in physics which have very close relation with the concepts in geography. Therefore, let us understand some of the concepts in physics and where they are applied in geography. Basically, the first concept is a process known as adiabatic process. What is an adiabatic process? Adiabatic process is one where there is no exchange of heat or matter with the surrounding. You do not exchange any heat or matter with the surrounding. The system will consume its own energy to complete the process. Let's take an example. Suppose this is a metal strip, and this metal strip, if I need to expand this metal strip, I'll have to provide heat, energy to it. If you heat it, this metal strip will expand. And the corollary is that if I want to contract this metal strip, I will have to cool it. That means I will have to remove energy from it. So to heat it, you have to supply energy. To cool it, to contract it, to contract it, you'll have to withdraw energy from it. Now, what if this process happens adiabatically? That means to this system, to this metal strip, we are not going to supply any heat, energy, matter from the surrounding. Now, are we going to withdraw any energy, matter from this strip? So, let's consider this is an ideal situation where this is in an isolated state, and now I am expanding this metal strip. Mind you, we are not supplying any external energy, heat to the system, and this metal strip is being expanded. What will happen? This metal strip will consume its own energy to expand. And when it consumes its own energy to expand, its temperature decreases. Right? It means that if there is adiabatic expansion, temperature is going to decrease. Corollary to this, if I contract this metal strip adiabatically, whatever energy is released from this system, it will not escape out because it's an adiabatic process. It will remain within the system, and the temperature of this system, that is a metal strip, will increase. So what is the bottom line? Adiabatic expansion, temperature decreases. Adiabatic contraction, temperature increases, because the energy which is released will remain in this system itself whenever it contracts. Fine. So this is a basic understanding about an adiabatic system. Now, and where we use the system, a basic everyday experience where we use the system is that the earthen pot. The earthen pot, water cools in the earthen pot in summer. Why? Because water from inside the earthen pot will seep outside. And when it moves outside, it's summer, it's dry, this water evaporates. But we all know that water evaporates, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. But still then, this water will evaporate at 35-40 degrees Celsius. So it needs extra energy to evaporate. From where will it take this extra energy? It takes this extra energy from within the system. And therefore, the temperature of water in the earthen pot, it falls. The water in the earthen pot, it cools. So this is just a parallel example that we experience in day-to-day life when the energy is consumed from the system. Same thing we are going to apply to a pocket of air. Let's say there is a pocket of air which rises. When this pocket of air rises, it expands adiabatically. And when it expands adiabatically, the temperature of the rising air will decrease because it is expanding adiabatically. Mind you, I am not speaking of a small pocket of air. We are speaking of some huge air masses, for example, in the monsoon. So adiabatic expansion of air, whenever the air rises, there is adiabatic expansion and the temperature of that air increases. What is the corollary to this? Whenever a pocket of air descends, there is adiabatic contraction, and because it's adiabatic contraction, the temperature of this pocket of air will increase. So adiabatic expansion, temperature decreases. Adiabatic contraction, temperature increases. When we apply this to air, air rises, adiabatic expansion, temperature decreases, air descends, adiabatic contraction, temperatures of that air pocket is going to increase. Now this we are going to correlate with one more property of air. This air has a property to withhold certain moisture holding capacity of air. This moisture holding capacity of air is directly proportional to the temperature of air. Okay, so this moisture holding capacity of air is directly proportional to the temperature of air. What does this mean? When the temperature of air increases, its moisture holding capacity will increase. When the temperature of air decreases, its moisture holding capacity will decrease. So this property of air and the adiabatic expansion of air, now we are going to correlate. Suppose there is a pocket mass of air. It comes from the oceans, southwest monsoon winds. They come over the ocean, they pick up moisture, they are saturated with moisture. They come and they hit the Western Ghats, the Sahyadri Mountains. When they hit the Western Ghats, the Sahyadri Mountains, they rise. They rise, adiabatic expansion, temperature decreases. So when temperature decreases, water holding capacity will decrease, and therefore this pocket of air will not be able to withhold that moisture, and it will precipitate out in the form of rain. And that's the reason we have heavy rainfall in the Konkan region, the Mumbai Konkan region, the whole of the western coast of Maharashtra. It gets heavy rainfall from the southwest monsoon winds. On the other hand, when these winds, they descend on the other side of the Sahyadri Mountains, on the eastern part of the Sahyadri Mountains, on the Deccan Plateau, whenever they descend on the other side, okay, when they descend, there is adiabatic contraction. Temperature of that air mass increases. Temperature increases, water holding capacity will increase. Therefore, when the water holding capacity increases, they will try to withhold more moisture. Therefore, the moisture in that air will not precipitate out as rain. Therefore, this eastern side of the Sahyadri Mountains is known as the rain shadow region, which receives very less rainfall as compared to the corresponding Konkan side on the same latitude. So this is a simple phenomena of adiabatic expansion and how it is applicable in geography to understand certain concepts of geography, especially climatology. Thank you.